The first thing I learned from being robbed about a month ago was that you should not treat everyone as if they're equal. I saw this dude taking a nice, like, wee wee on the side of the road, okay? And internally, I was like, that is gross. And I still treated him like he'd be like just some guy when he decided to stop me and just work his magic on my mind and get me to be in a position where he could just take my phone. Okay. Sometimes you've got to trust your instinct. If the guy looks like scum, he probably is. Okay, nothing to do with his makeup, but everything to do with your intuition, your instinct, especially on the street. If he acts like scum, if he looks like scum, he's probably scum. The next thing I learned was that you can't trust people out there who want your attention, like at all. Because if, especially on the street, if they're going up to you and asking you something, they want something from you. And you've got to step back and say, hey, wait a minute, hold on. You can speak to me 5 steps away, literally. If you want to speak to me, stay away, okay? Because you don't know what they want from you. And if they speak quietly, tell them to speak up. You are allowed to disrespect these people. They came to you. I have learned to ignore the desperate pleas of those around me. There's so many people who want something from you, whether they want to sell you something, whether they want to beg for something. People want things from you, right? I've ignored to, I've learned to just ignore it. When I'm at a market, people will be like, hey, come here, sir. Hey, come. No, I just walk. When we drive through the sub streets and you have the beggars there, no, I'm not giving you anything. I just look straight ahead. Okay. And also in real life, um, with actual people, like people who could be your friends, you don't need to be their friends. You can say no and move on. You can literally say, I don't want to. I don't want to do that, and move on. Okay, the next thing I learned is something about your support structure, the family you have around you. Yes, not everyone is made equal. There are people who you've spent more time around. They are invariably of higher importance to those you have not. But these people are your support structure. After I was robbed, I was beaten up pretty badly because, and I'll get to that in a second, but I practically tried to fight for my phone, and I was dragged across the road with this car that they got into, this getaway vehicle that I was trying to hold on to get my phone back. Um, and thankfully, I had my brother on the other side. He was waiting for me to get into his car so we could leave. And so I just ran up there, like with my heel with the heel of my foot, like off, literally. And I ran up, and he was there to help me out. We got to my grandmother's place eventually, and he was there to stitch me up. He had first aid, and I just looked at him with such respect and awe, and while at the same time I was telling myself, hey, you are not a good guy. How could you let this happen to yourself, Adrian? But then for him, for my grandmother, I was very grateful. eternally grateful that they were there. And it just highlighted the importance of your family, your social structure, the people who support you. They mean so much more than we give them credit for. And I started to realize that that day. Your parents sacrifice a lot for you. Your brother's quite amazing, in their own ways. Okay. Lastly, I learned that you don't always have to fight. Okay, when you're in a situation like this, and this is it's not just about fighting other people to get what was yours back, but also fighting yourself. When the dude, kind of tricked me and stole my phone, um, he ran away with it, and I decided, hey, no, you're not taking my phone. And he was kind of a slow, like chubby-ish guy, so I decided I'm gonna run after you. I caught up to him just as he hopped into the car. And so the door was wide open. And so I grabbed onto him with the door wide open and they drove off. He was in the back seat. It's like there was a literal family in that car. They drove off, um, and my heel got scraped off on the road. I let go, and then my whole arm got scraped as well. I think you can still see the scars. Yeah. Now that that's done, I've spoken to a lot of other people about it, and many of them also got robbed. It's just a South African thing, to get robbed. I'm a true South African now, um, but they just let it happen. They let their phone go, and they're not scraped up because of it. They did look pretty sad when their phone got stolen, but they're relatively okay. You have to understand the value of your possessions, that if it does get stolen, you have some sort of insurance. It's not your be all end all, right? That needs to be the case for you, and it is for most people. We don't even see that that's the case. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but you don't always need to fight for the things you have, because it's not like you have so little that when that thing leaves, you'll have nothing to back yourself up on. Hmm? What are you going to do? Oftentimes, fighting just makes things worse when you should just let it go and be in that state of abundance. It's not even a state. You have the ability to get another one. There's not much issue there. You'll live on. And when it comes to fighting yourself and beating yourself up for something that happened, I beat myself up heavily for what happened after the robbery. Like, how can I get myself in this state? I thought I was a good guy. Like, I thought I was good at life, and now look at this. You're crap, Adrian. How dare you? Yeah, this is your fault. You take responsibility. That was me. And yeah, I was fighting myself. I was creating a demon. Um, no need for that. Now, I've invariably been psychologically scarred from this moment. Um, Therapy is not what I'm going to do, but journaling, it's kind of the same thing. I'll do that. But from these scars, I've chosen what I created, and I've decided, you know what, I'm going to learn as much as I can from this experience. And finally, I'm not letting others walk around me because I don't treat everyone equal. I don't allow people's desperate pleas to get my attention. Instead, I just ignore everyone that wants that as if they don't deserve it. Which honestly, why should they deserve it? Just for being human. Which is crazy to say. Wow. Wow. But hey, you look at the other people around you, you look at your mom, your dad, the other human beings that you see, and they're also treating people like they're subhuman. So I'm fine. I'll do the same thing. I've learned that now. And I've also learned that, hey, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, they are very important. They are your support system. Those are the people who are going to help you in your times of distraught need, when you are too broken to help yourself, like in that moment. And lastly, sometimes things just happen and you've got to let them happen and let them go. Definitely fight, but within your means, you know? Things are dangerous, and when you fight, you can just make things a lot worse very often. You need to be careful. Calculated risk. Yeah, that's what you need. Be careful about what you decide to be risky on, what you decide to fight, and whether that's outside of you or inside of you, because it will affect you going forward for quite some time. With that being said, um, I also realized I'm responsible for my circumstances, just like you, buddy. You're also responsible. So have a good, responsible day. Goodbye.